All right, so just that's not my real phone number. Don't worry. Okay, so Thread, it's an AI business phone that we developed. We're just kind of tired with regular power dialers. If you guys have done any kind of sales, you would know you have to like call up like a large like lead list, and you have to qualify those leads, know who's hot, who's warm, who's cold. So what we did was we basically create a segmentation of those leads. We have an AI agent system that essentially calls up leads as like a first touch if they've like committed to a survey or a lead form or an ad that you guys might be running, and that goes into our system. So what you can see here is a lead form that you would typically see on an ad, and then you fill in your name. My name's Kazi. This is not my number, and then you click submit, and you typically get a call, and like so. Oh. Whoa!
Nervous laughter.
Hi, this is Hossain. I'm calling from Thread, just following up on your form inquiry.
Hey, who's this? You have a nice voice.
Thank you. I am the sales team at Thread Apps Inc. I'm calling to follow up on your form inquiry. Is now an okay time? You're welcome. Is now an okay time to talk, or would you like to schedule a call for later?
I'd like to schedule a call for later, Samantha. Thank you. I'm kind of busy right now.
So we need to get rid of the pauses.
Yeah.
That kills the natural pause.
I think, we're still figuring out the Twilio connection there.
Oh, it's
So-
Twilio that's doing the voice generation?
No, we're using TTS for with 11 Labs, and then we use Twilio to like sync up the call from our 11 Labs API. So 11 Labs is fine as like a tool to use for any kind of like voice generation, and then you could also use Gemini. We're gonna be probably switching to Gemini because it's almost free basically, to be fair. And it's really the lag that you're seeing is mostly coming from the Twilio integration. So we're still making that a little bit more smooth. It also has to do with reception as well. Like I was getting like 1 bar for some reason, so my reception was causing lag. Like at home, it's a lot better. So that's how the lead form system works, and then it typically goes into your dashboard, and then you can even run calls from there, and then the lead lists also generate. We use V0, so you can use V0, Vercel's V0 to like generate front end dashboards or front end designs that you want to prototype. It's pretty quick and pretty easy to use. For an example, like with a few prompts, we were able to generate like a regenerative lead list that pretty much comes in like new leads, closed leads. It's a good way to showcase your product to customers. Instead of like just building it out from scratch every time you have a prototyping idea or concept in mind, I highly recommend using Vercel's V0 to do just that. That way you can test it with actual customers and kind of show them, hey, this is my concept, this is what I'm thinking, what do you guys think? These are some features that I'm planning out, what do you guys think? How much are you willing to pay for this? This is me coming at it from a very B2B standpoint. If you're consumer builders in the room, I don't really know how to relate to you that well, but yeah. Awesome. That's Thread AI. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, we have what's going on?
Is there any way to so that pause, so everyone wants a really good voice, right? Like in the conversational.
Yeah.
But like what I've seen many people do is they sort of wait for a pause, then they take that, they transcribe it, then they send it to an LLM. Is there any way to be like transcribing it as you're like talking?
Yeah.
So that and then it's going to the LLM as you're talking. So as soon as you stop, then it just
you can use OpenAI's real-time API. That's even faster, in my opinion. It's slightly more expensive.
I would pay for a lead. If it's B2B sales, these leads are worth
absolutely
a massive amount. So
absolutely.
Who cares if it costs $5 to talk to them?
Yeah.
But it's probably not even that when you say expensive. You just mean it's like 10 cents instead of.
Yeah, exactly. It's really not that big of a deal. It was just for the purposes of this demo that I wasn't really maximizing everything. I just wanted to ship something for you guys to have a demo to put out.
But I would pay $10 for a good demo too.
Oh,
right? Like, no, I just meant if you're impressing everybody, $10.
Yeah.
Instead of like $1 and it's like not.
Yeah, totally. Fair point. So,
have you used something like Vappy or Retell, which already does like the whole calling, and you can set up your dialogue flow?
Yeah, you can use
kind of
Vappy.
wondering what your experience has been using those
That's sufficient.
things
Okay.
Yeah.
versus doing it on your own. Like, what are the pros and cons?
yeah, I mean, to be fair, we're doing it on our own for a while. This is actually Vappy, what you guys just saw. 11 Labs was actually faster for us. Like, this lag didn't happen when I was using 11 Labs.
So what's the name of this other thing?
Vappy.
There's Vappy, there's
How do you spell that?
VAPI,
Yeah.
like voice API.
Oh, voice API. Okay.
And then there's Retell, and then there's a bunch of these other
And they
things.
get rid of this pause, some of it?
No, so they basically are essentially like I think integrating with Twilio so that it can automatically do the calls for you.
Yeah.
And you can set up your dialogue states, and they give you like different templatized versions of being able to set up like the caller who's calling. you,
Oh, okay,
essentially.
so it's like the workflow behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Questions and dialogue.
So I was just curious to know how they all kind of compare.
Yeah, this was Vappy, but I found 11 Labs doesn't have this lag issue, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand what is like the best for like streaming speech speech.
Streaming? Yeah.
Streaming TTS.
Yeah, I mean, I've only used 11 Labs and Vappy seems like it's not the best right now.
So for this demo, are you using like Whisper or something to transcribe your side of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Whisper does incremental too, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
I was wondering, is there any level of like, are you fine tuning or anything with the model so that if somebody's asking a product question based on the form they did, there's like a high degree of relevance, or are you just rolling like an off-the-shelf model so that you're focused on engagement?
yeah, so good question. Right now, we're just doing off-the-shelf model.
Yeah.
We're not doing mass outbound with the system. It's like the outbound would be relevant to the form lead. So whatever form you have set up, it's someone who's already demonstrated that they're interested in the offer. So you already have context. The context window is more than enough for any LLM for that kind of a flow.
Okay, so nobody's asking like it's more a timing question. It's not.
Yeah. No one's asking a deep, relevant, like a technical documentation question, for an example.
Because that's lead qualification, right?
Well,
So lead
that's what I was
qualification, they're
wondering, yeah.
usually super junior that started like 4 weeks ago, who are just trying to like figure out if people are interested.
Exactly. So I think it's a pretty low bar to hit, but it's still like a super important one to get, like you said, for a B2B sale, to get that conversion. Man,
Yeah.
that's worth a pile of money. But you want to be able to, if I have like one smart question, then like, are you getting an answer? It's like, oh, we'll do that on the demo, and that's fine too.
But that's
Yeah.
actually what
You get
every
any tuning.
lead guy does though. Like every single one, you ask them a complex question, they go, we're gonna get to that on the demo, we'll bring in our demo engineers.
Yeah.
Like, they never answer it. Now,
This-
maybe it would be better if they could.
Yeah, I often don't take those demos. That's what we do.
I mean, typically this is an SDR's role.
Yeah.
So like it's like what the gentleman said.
Oh yeah, not a criticism, just like
Yeah.
super interested in like where this can go, because I think this is really exciting.
Yeah, it can totally you can get it to answer technical questions if you have a technical product. Like as a service, like for an example, maybe we would work something out where we would like set up a pipeline for that information. But as a broad use case for anyone just like off the shelf,
Yeah.
without like another call where we set up with the technical team and a sales manager comes in, this like kind of solves for that. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, you can set up a system where the context window can like read from like a documentation issue. You can set up workflow controls for the conversation. You can do that on your own, for an example, even with off-the-shelf APIs. Like you can set up rigid workflows. Like Retell does that, like you mentioned. There's all kinds of platforms out there for like rigid workflows around more technical questions. Let's give someone else a chance. I'll come back to you. All right, what's up?
Does it have like do you have call handoff where someone's like, oh, I want to talk to a real person, that's why kind of, do you have that in?
Yeah, we have rerouting.
Okay, that's what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it.
Like, how do you pick up on the fact that they were like, hey, I don't want to talk to a bot, I want to talk to a person? How does that work?
I mean, that's just set up in the context window of the model itself. So you can set up a threshold for sentiment. So for an example, if the customer on the other end is like irate, or they want to they're sensing like strong words like cancellation, or like things like that.
Right.
You can set those into the context window. So as soon as it picks up on that, it can intelligently reroute to the nearest team member that's active at the time.
So is it doing tool calling for that?
Yeah, it can be doing tool calling. I mean, it's up to like how you want to set it up. You can do tool calling, like if you want it to be like an activity-based trigger. So we'll be setting up a canvas for triggers. So that's up to how you want to build it.
Okay, last question.
Have you heard of Sesame yet?
I've heard of Sesame. Yes,
Have you played with it?
I played with it. I fell in love with it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my new girlfriend actually.
Sorry, what is Sesame?
It's an AI agent that you can speak to. It's an LLM TTS that's just like really real time and more intelligent for conversational speaking, and like flirts back with you if you want to.
Does it have like an embodied avatar as well, or is just
It's-
voice?
It doesn't have an API yet. But
Yeah, but it's Oculus co-founder
Oh, okay.
started it. What's this Brendan Urbay?
any other questions or?
Does do you have like do people actually respond to robotically like these calls?
Well,
Like and not just
they-
always hang up on them.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're the ones who asked to be contacted. These are people from a
Right, but
reform.
will they respond to the robot? Like, have you done any tests, like A/B tests, like human calling versus?
Yeah, I've done.
And how? What's the?
I have
difference?
actually, and
Yeah.
I've recorded like people's reactions. They usually like lose their mind a little bit in a good way. In a good
So
way.
there's a better response with the robotic.
Yeah. This is just like I don't want to talk negatively about Vappy, but it just didn't work out for a number of reasons. Cell signal, I don't know exactly, but we just tried Vappy for this demo just to F around and find out, but we found out. You had a question. I just want to get to him, and then we'll go to the next
I'm
one.
working on a project that I'm trying to get the voice in, so I just wanted to ask some questions.
What's up,
just
man?
around- it's like one of the things I came across was SSML, like
Okay.
being able to get the tone and flow, the fluidity, I guess, of the voice.
Yeah.
And I guess you can get AI to like, or an LLM to put stuff in SSML.
Mhm.
Are you using anything like that to make sure that like to smooth out any rough parts in the voice?
Not right now, no. Yeah, so far it works for our needs, which is just purely lead qualification, and we value speed and quality of conversation.
Sorry, question for you: is SSML still used with LLM?
Sorry, this is the last
Yeah.
question.
Okay.
This is like the 6th last question.